NXT starts off with Julia versus Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship. I was very shocked that this opened the show. This was, of course, them moving over to CW, making it a big deal. I'm shocked this opened the show, but this was actually a good match. This was a good match. I was very impressed. I am a little upset how it ended, but after rethinking it, I'm not as mad. I just kind of wish they would have went on for a little bit longer because just right when the match was getting really good, it had to get interrupted. But towards the end of the match, Roxanne Perez distracts the ref. She ends up grabbing the new NXT Women's Championship. They announced earlier, before the match started, they brought out new championships for the men's NXT champion and women's NXT champion. Roxanne Perez distracts the ref with the championship belt. Then out of nowhere, Cora Jade ends up attacking Julia. She was wearing a hoodie, so no one knew who it was. She ends up attacking Julia, throws her in the ring. Roxanne Perez at the Pop Rocks and ends up retaining her NXT Women's Championship. This is very interesting. Very interesting. I thought Julia was going to be the clear-cut winner. She was obviously going to win, but they pulled a swerve. And I like this. This makes Julia chase the title more because we all know how it is. Baby faces are typically more entertaining when they're chasing. And with a character like Julia, this gives her more of a character, more depth to actually develop her character. Because if she would have just won, no offense, it would have just made her similar. It just would have made her where she's just this dominant, overpowered champion. Now, we know Stephanie Vaquer is waiting on the other side. We also know Cora Jade will be in that mix, of course. And this is very interesting because it looks like they're going to be teaming up a bit. Looks like they're going to rekindle their friendship between Roxanne and Cora Jade. So I'm very interested in that. And I'm interested to see with Cora Jade because ever since I've been watching NXT, Cora Jade has not really been on TV because she's always injured, which is unfortunate. So hopefully she could stay healthy and we can actually see a healthy Cora Jade because I'm very interested to see what she could bring to this championship reign and see how she assists Roxanne Perez. I'm very excited. Now we end up getting Wesley versus Zach Wentz in a street fight. This was also a really, really good match. Started off very chaotic, very fast. Early in the match, Zach ended up ramming a shopping cart into Wesley into the steel steps. Then we had another sick moment where Zach ended up doing a coast to coast, top rope coast to coast with a trash can next to Wesley. Ended up pulling that move off. Then later in the show, we ended up getting a swanton bomb from Zach while Wesley was inside the trash can. That was very sick. Then towards the end of the match, Wesley, I think Zach tries to go for his finisher, but Wesley ends up tossing him. Dude, he tries to toss him on the table, but Zach ended up going over the table. He ended up going a little bit further than he was expected. That was a very sick spot. But towards the end of the match, after he ended up ended up throwing him outside the ring, Wes basically ended up taking advantage, and he ends up chaining his like legs or whatever, and he ended up chaining his legs and ends up like kneeing him on like his shoulders. I can't really explain it off the top rope and ends up picking up the victory. This was a really good match overall. I will say it wasn't as good as their No Mercy match, but to be fair, their No Mercy match, they had more time. This match didn't have as much time and they still put on a really good match. So I can't wait to see what happens with the third match. I can't wait. This was overall really good. Eventually Trey would get back into the mix, to assist Zach. So I'm very interested to see how this story plays out, but this match was still an absolute banger and I'm excited to see what's next for the rest of their feud. Now we end up getting Miz TV with Tony D'Angelo and Oba Femi. Not gonna speak too much on it. This was a really good segment, but it was nothing that really happened that we haven't seen before. Start off with Tony. He ended up getting asked by the Miz how does he feel what's going to be different than last time. Tony ends up giving Oba his props, but he ends up basically saying that he's a different man now and how he's going to be the one to dethrone Oba. Oba basically ends up saying that Tony D'Angelo doesn't believe in his own hype and that he knows that he can't beat him. Then Tony starts going emotional promo. He ends up mentioning his family, mentions how his family is supporting him, mentions how he started mentioning family a lot, mentioning Adriana, Stacks, mentioned his family, watching from the crowd and how they're supporting him and all that. Then Oba ends up responding back, ends up saying that his family can't fight for him and that his family was there last time, and we all saw what happened last time. He ends up saying he broke Tony D'Angelo and he's going to do the same thing again, and they end up having a little stare down. This was an overall good, solid promo. The only thing I hate is that the crowd was chanting "what" against Tony D'Angelo, which was kind of making me mad because they was chanting "what," and then when he started mentioning his family, they start cheering, and then they went back to chanting "what." These "what" chants have to stop. Like, bro, what do y'all gain from chanting "what"? Like, seriously. Like, I understand it to a degree at times it could be cool depending on the heel, but Tony D'Angelo is a babyface, and depending on the promo, I get it. But this promo wasn't bad. I don't understand why people was chanting what. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, these what chants have to stop. It's so ridiculous. The only time I accept what chants is if a promo is like very dull and very boring. That's really it. Any other time, I think it's dumb and I think it's stupid and it's very disrespectful. It's disrespectful in general. But what chants are ridiculous. They need to stop, especially in bad moments. This kind of gave me like Finn Balor and Seth Rollins vibes when Finn Balor was cutting a really deep promo, but then they kept chanting. Like, it's a time and place for it. But a lot of the crowd, wrestling fans, don't know when to read the room. But that what chant was just stupid. It really made me mad because the promo was actually good, but it was getting ruined by the what chants. Now we end up getting the thing that I think is stupid. Jada Parker, Lola Vice versus Fallon Henley and Jason James. This match was okay. Towards this match was basically playing the story of can they work together? Jada Parker and Fallon and Lola Vice, can they work together as a tag team? Constantly them going against each other throughout the match. You have Jada Parker and Lola Vice constantly tagging themselves in. It was multiple moments where Jada Parker feels like Lola Vice is trying to attack her. But towards the end of the match, Jasmine Nick was trying to pull Jada Parker off the ring apron. So Jada Parker was talking to Jasmine Nick, you know how she is. Then Lola Vice was trying to get the hot tag, but she ended up accidentally bumping Jada Parker off the ring apron, which made Jada Parker get mad, which made Jada Parker end up leaving the ring, all have Lola Vice all by herself, which allowed Fatal Influence to be able to take advantage and end up picking up the victory. After the match, Fatal Influence ends up cutting a short promo calling out Kalani Jordan. Kalani Jordan ends up, basically ends up saying that she's not afraid, but she brought backup. And the backup is Jade and Bianca, who just basically swashed them. Okay, this is my problem with this. Okay, number one, Fatal Influence looked so weak in this match, it is ridiculous. Number two, Jada. This is one of the reasons why Jada Parker and Lola Vice should not be baby faces. They're baby faces, but they act like. Now, I'm not saying every baby face should act like a Cody Rhodes or like Randy Orton, like because Kevin Owens is not your traditional baby face, but like they should still feel like Kevin Owens feels like a baby face still. These people, no offense to Jada Parker and Lola Vice, they still feel like heels when I like watch them. They still feel like heels. They don't feel like babyface. They still feel like bad guys. Like that's my issue I'm having. Like, no offense, I don't think any babyface should ever leave the ring to leave their partner stranded. Now, I get why she left the ring, but I don't know. I just feel like it was kind of dumb to give Fatal Influence the victory. And also, here's the thing. After the match, Lola Vice almost won the match. That's the crazy part. She was actually holding her own, which made Fatal Influence look even worse. It's like, why? Fatal Influence is basically becoming NXT's version of Pure Fusion Collective. They are. They are. They're becoming the NXT version of Pure Fusion Collective. And the thing is, all the women have talent, but they don't execute the talent right. Like, oh my. And then afterwards, Bianca Belair. Why? Why do we need them? Look, I don't get it. I get that they wanted to stack the card. That's the only reason they're on the show. They're on the show because of CW. That's it. They're not on the show because they thought no, they're on the show to boost ratings. That's it. Which I understand. But man, why? Why did Kalani Jordan really need to have Bianca and Jade out there? Why? This doesn't advance the story at all. We don't need Bianca and Jade swashing the NXT talent. We don't. Okay, like it's just no. Like this is just stupid. This is dumb. And we know eventually they're going to have the story of them becoming friends and them working together and them overcoming the odds. But this is just stupid. Like no, like none of this shouldn't even be a storyline in my opinion. You guys let me know if I'm tripping, but this shouldn't even be a storyline in my opinion. Now, we get the main event: Trick Williams versus Ethan Page. They put on with CM Punk as the guest referee. This was also a good match, very entertaining match. We had, of course, a bit of shenanigans with both wrestlers wanting CM Punk to call it down the middle, which he actually did. Earlier in the match, Ethan Page felt like he's not getting a fast count. We had Ethan Page try to cheat, put his foot on the ropes, but CM Punk was watching that. But toward the end of the match, Trick Williams is kicking out of things. He's kicking out of everything, and Ethan Page wants to put him away. Then Ethan Page starts arguing with CM Punk about his counting. Then he ends up hitting a GTS in front of CM Punk, tries to put Trick away, and Trick Williams kicks out of a GTS. Then he ends up picking Trick Williams up. Yeah, he ends up picking Trick Williams up. Trick Williams ends up hugging CM Punk, but CM Punk ends up tossing him into the turnbuckle to get him off. Ethan Page tries to try to attack him in the corner, but Trick Williams ends up avoiding it. He ends up hitting a trick shot and ends up becoming your new NXT champion. This was really good. This was a really good, exciting moment. It was actually hilarious because after the match, literally shortly after, Ethan Page was arguing with CM Punk, and then CM Punk ends up hitting a GTS on Ethan Page, which I thought was hilarious. Overall, this was a good show. I am a bit disappointed. I thought this card would have been slightly better. I feel like the first two matches delivered. It was really that middle part of the show that kind of under delivered. But overall, this was still a really good show. I'm excited to see what they do on the CW network. This was a real, but overall, I'm excited. But you guys let me know your opinions down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.